I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Hammond Capital Improvements Board for March 15th, 2021. May I have a roll call, please?
Flores.
Here.
Krasinski.
Here.
Prieto.
Here.
Spitali.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Vanez.
Here.
Button.
Here. Let the record reflect all commissioners are present for the meeting. You should have an opportunity to review the meeting minutes of the past meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes?
Mr. President,
Commissioner Krasinski.
I make a motion to approve the board minutes of March 1st, 2021.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Second by Commissioner Prieto. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes? Any discussion? Any discussion? A roll call for the approval of the meeting minutes.
Flores.
Yes.
Krasinski.
Yes.
Prieto.
Yes.
Spitali.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Vanez.
Yes.
Button.
Motion carries 7-0. Report on the work study session. I would, if the commissioners would allow me, I would do a brief discussion on the meeting, this work study session.
Please.
Thank you. So we talked a little bit about the agenda tonight. We actually spent quite a bit of time doing some clarification, talking about our format for approving funding allocations. And then we talked quite a bit about tracking our funding and how we were going to move forward with our funds and how we were going to be reporting on those funds, the funds that are available and the projects that we've approved up to this point. And then we talked about we have a draft of a project request form for residents to complete if they have a project that they'd like this board to consider. There was a little bit more discussion that perhaps we should have a second format for the council or perhaps even other departments to fill out, at least help them as a crutch to fill out exactly what their project needs were. And there was a discussion about having a format or a tracking method and a rapid response in responding to these requests. And then we just talked about some general project items. So any questions on the work study session? Questions? Any questions? Okay. Next item on the agenda is funding. Commissioner Flores, do you want to say anything about funding?
Yes, so we've received in our numbers from the boats for February activity. So I'm hoping, in my role as controller, I'm working on distributing those amounts to each of the budgets, including the Capital Improvement Board budget that is based off of a percentage of those collections. I would like to report that our local development agreement, which is the activity-based equation to which we get money from the boats, is at about 94% of our average collection rate, which is good. It's staying steady within the 90s, so hopefully it'll continue to tread that way. I would also like to report that President Button and I have met multiple times in his role as engineer and mine as controller on working on a projection report for the Capital Improvement Board as well as the mayor to project out all of the projects that have been committed to or are being considered to be committed to.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores. I greatly appreciate your assistance. It's quite a lot to do, and I thank you for your cooperation on that. And thank you for your fine report. Next item on the agenda is matters from the mayor, council, or other departments. Is there any council persons that wish to address this board at this time? Departments. We do have, we're grateful to have the Hammond Sanitary District and the Sewer Maintenance Department here to come to the board.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for all the commissioners that are with us today. The reason that we are here today was in response to the recent request that the sanitary district received from President Button for the street Snyder. The request to the sanitary district was $260,000. At the time that I received the email, I sat down with staff, we were prepared to actually fund the entire $260,000. But here's what's happened last week, and I had a conversation with the president about this. We have a major force main that has broken, and it runs parallel between two railroad tracks on railroad property right off of Kennedy Avenue on the west side across from the Kennedy Avenue pumping station. This is not good. Any major main break is not good, but this one, because of its location, and in that corridor, you have all the other utilities running, the major gas line there for their main, for NIPSCO. You have all of the oil lines from the oil companies that are running in that easement. This is going to be a major, expensive problem for the district. They're working on what the number is going to be. The engineers are looking at it. But I'm here today to say, until I know what that number is, we have a limited amount of money that Rachel has set aside for this type of problem. And I'm afraid that if we try to continue to participate with this project at the 260 level, I could be putting the district in some trouble. So I'm here to report that personally to all of you and the commissioners, and to let you know why we cannot do that at this point. I'm not sure when the Snyder project is scheduled to start, Mr. President. Maybe you can, do you have a start date?
We could start at any time.
Okay.
The project has been designed, it's complete, in the cost information that I provided with the request. By the way, it was a directive of this board to send that request.
Absolutely. It actually was very nicely done, I have to say, and didn't go on and on and on. It was to the point, and then you also had the cost breakdown, which is greatly appreciated.
So we would be ready at any time to go to bid. The plans and specifications are ready. We just need to pick a bid date to start.
Sure.
So we could start the bidding process pretty quickly.
So the problem the district has at this point, since it's a ready-to-start project, is that we are unable to commit to the financing at the request until I know exactly what that cost is for that repair of that main. That's a 24-inch main, by the way. And it's one of those that they're going to have to find a way to bypass because it can't be shut down, all kinds of things. And of course, any plan that we come up with engineering-wise then has to be submitted to the railroad engineers, and they have to sign off on it. So we have a little bit of a complication here for probably the next month or two until I can get some of those design elements back, see what kind of costs could be associated with that. And then for some reason the project has not started, or may be started, and I see that it's not going to be as costly as what they're telling me, then we would be more than happy to come in and do the $260,000 request.
Okay.
So I will open it up if any of the commissioners have any questions for me.
Any questions for Director Wilgus? Is that fair to say?
That is.
Director Wilgus? I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're fine.
I would just
Mylan.
go ahead, Commissioner Krasinski.
How is this discovered?
Actually, the railroad contacted us. They contacted the water department because they thought it was a water main leak because it's so clean. I find that hard to believe. And the water folks said, no, it's not us. And so then they called us. We went out there. It was a Sunday. And it sure enough is us.
Yeah, my only comment is, so you're going to see now these requests come fairly regularly, right? Whenever we have
Right.
a project, so we have Torrance Avenue between Hudson and Goslin in design. We have Goslin Street from Calumet to Columbia in design, and so we're going to be having these projects come forward pretty regularly, and we will be making requests to the sanitary district for funding
Sure,
at the request of the mayor.
sure,
That's
absolutely.
what
No, totally.
I appreciate you coming and talking to us and letting us know where you are. And You know, this is a two-way street, right? I mean, I hope what we have is matters from other departments, and so we expect other departments also to partner with us on projects that they have, and so this might be an opportunity for the district to talk to the Capital Improvements Board about having funding available to do projects.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate, Mr. President and Commissioners.
One more question, Marty?
Yes, sir.
Does your department have a line item for repair or replacement?
I wish I could say yes, but we do not. We're not in that position, Commissioner, to have and be in that comfort zone. We have done a tremendous job in doing two things at the district. One, it's been almost 10 years since I've been district manager. When I took over as district manager, the district was not very healthy. And over the last 10 years, we've made it healthy. It's strong in the black, and it has had some excess resources. We have come to the help of the city with our in lieu of tax payment. I know the Port Authority has done the same, and so has the water. A very substantial increase to that, and we've done that. So to answer your question, Commissioner, I wish we were in that comfort zone, but we just don't have the ability to do that yet. I would love one day to say, hey, Rachel, every month we're going to put so much into that, just like the mayor's done here with the revenues from gaming, to be able to do those emergency projects. One thing I did do, though, and I'm hoping that it could work, is I contacted our insurance carrier, because you can pretty much design insurance for anything. That doesn't have to be an existing type of insurance. And I asked our insurance carrier two things. I said, I want you to give me a quote of a $2 million cap and a $250,000 deductible yearly for repair of mains throughout the entire city. And what I want to look at is, what will that premium cost be? And I'm told that it is possible to get it done, like through a Lloyd's of London or some of those. And if that premium makes sense, the district may do that. That would then, because a $250,000 repair, we can take care of fairly easily. It's when it gets into the 350s and the 4s and the 5s, that's what makes it harder, because that's just one repair of a system that's throughout the entire city. So if I can get an insurance policy with a reasonable premium, we're going to strongly look at that, because that would solve this problem immediately.
Thank you.
Very good. I applaud you for taking that proactive stance. That's very good to hear. And good luck in trying to get your rainy day fund going. I know you're working hard at it, so good luck. It'll definitely help us out on the Capital Improvements Board. Thank you, Marty.
You're quite welcome, and I had a meeting with Mark from the Water Department today, and I also told him about the same thing, and he said, hey, if you're able to do that, and if that premium's reasonable, he wants to do the same thing for the Water Department for their mains.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
District Manager Marty Wilgus, I apologize. Thank you. Any other departments or their representatives? None. Okay. The next matter is old business. I just really wanted to bring up that we have Chicago Street Phase 2 starting in the next couple of weeks. We had a pre-construction meeting last week, and we expect to close Holman Avenue northbound at Chicago. So the north side of Chicago will be closed, which would prevent people crossing Chicago at Holman. So if you're northbound, you'd have to turn right onto Chicago, so it'll still be allowed to go east. Or if you're southbound, you'll have to turn on Gosselin. So this board's approved some funding for that project, but that project is starting up here real soon. We're in the midst of Phase 1, which is over near the proposed South Shore Gateway Station, and so we'll have a lot of construction going on this spring. Any other old business? New business, you should have received in your packet a funding allocation for Chicago Street Phase 1 construction engineering in the net amount of $121,526.52. Is there a motion to approve that funding allocation?
I make a motion to approve.
Commissioner
Second.
Prieto moves, Commissioner Flores seconds. Is there any discussion on this motion? If the commissioners will allow me, what you saw in your packet is different than what has changed as early as late this afternoon. Mayor McDermott was not happy with, and I agree with him, the process that we were using to get these funding allocations approved. We were doing it in such a way that the Capital Improvements Board approved it before he approved it, and so now we're in a process where you will see Mayor McDermott's signature on the funding allocation in your packet from now on. So we fixed that today. The form has been signed off by the city controller for the amount that we're requesting is available to be paid. The mayor has signed the form, and we are seeking board approval for this form at this time. Is there any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Thank you, Commissioner Krasinski.
real quick, will we please get a copy of this new form?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll send you, I can certainly get you a form without signatures pretty quickly. Otherwise, we can make sure you get a final approval after the Board of Public Works and Safety signs off on it. I would add that this is for construction engineering for American Structure Point, and it was on Chicago Street Phase 1 construction engineering. Any other discussion?
One more quick question, sir.
Commissioner Krasinski.
So this is for phase 1. Will we be getting information on the next phase from American Structure Point and their cost?
I might remind the commissioner that that action has been previously approved by this board.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks for the reminder.
No problem. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? May I have a roll call vote on the motion?
Flores,
Yes.
Krasinski,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Spitali,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Vines,
Yes.
Button.
Button says yes. Motion passes 7-0. Next item on the agenda is public expression of Mr. Ron Perry to speak to the board. If you would just state your name and your address. When you
Hammond, Indiana. I wonder what's happening at
Could you speak into the
Alexander
mic?
Street. Well, I wonder what's happening at Alexander Street.
Mr. Perry,
Are
Mr.
they
Perry,
gonna
you're
do- I
from-
never heard nothing about it.
So far, the project is not in design. We are working on a format to make a written request to this board. We just heard this today. We hope to pass this as official action to get written comments from residents. So we'll have a form for you to fill out next time as a matter of record. We certainly have your comments on file from your previous. We do not have the project currently under design.
I'm just wondering what's going on, that's all.
Thank you.
It's a bad street.
Thank you. We've
Thank you.
all, I think, most of us have attended and seen the location. But thank you for your comments, sir. There's no one else signed in for public expression, but we would entertain any other public expression? Any other public expression? None? At this point, our next regular meeting would be scheduled for April the 5th. I don't have any current business items for this board for a regular meeting, but I will certainly notify the clerk and the members of the commission prior to the next meeting, significantly prior to the next meeting, if something were to be released. But I would ask that we do still hold a work-study session, and if it's okay with commissioners, we'd schedule that for 4 o'clock, because we had a fairly lively discussion. I can't wait till this COVID is over so we can see each other face to face. So next meeting, April 5th at 4 for a work study session. If we have a regular meeting, it'll be at 5. And then I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Prieto. I'll take Councilman Spitali as a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, we are adjourned.